Hello everyone, welcome to Tactica Imperialis and to today's video. Today is my year in review for 2017 and what a year it has been. Don't mind this thing down here, by the way. I have been talking for a very long time about getting a new microphone. I bought it in September. Unfortunately, it got to here after I left England, so I haven't actually been able to get my hands on it until I got back to England because it was a bit big and bulky to ship. So I have a new microphone, we're going to be trying that out today, so let me know what you think of it in the comments below and I'll keep fiddling around with some settings and we'll see what we can do. But for today, let's do the 2017 year in review. What a flipping year we've had. So, this is the first full year of Adeptus Podcast as we've had our 1 year anniversary back in September, and that podcast has gone from strength to strength to strength. It's been fantastic to do. We've got to meet some wonderful people as our guests this time around, people like Snipe and Wib, and of course Gav Thorpe, who was on very, very recently, and we're hoping to expand our Black Library repertoire and get a few other members of the Black Library to join us in the future, so watch this space. It's been really good to talk with you guys as well because doing the podcast has allowed us to interact in a way that we weren't able to do in the past. Obviously we can stream and we can do all the things we do, but it does help to have that ongoing Q&A back and forth, and we can take normal questions and podcasting questions and all that sort of thing. And of course, more recently, we also gained Adeptus Animaticus, our animation series. Thank you very, very much to the animator for doing that. I'll put his channel in the description below. You should really go and watch the Christmas special. It is absolutely fantastic, which came out on Christmas Day. So it's been a really good year for Adeptus Podcasters, and I really hope it continues going forward. On a more personal note, the channel hasn't had quite the same, 9 times larger in a year that we had last year. But then again, we were never going to, because if we'd done that again, we'd have overtaken Remlays. So, it's been a really productive year for us. We've gone from around about 6,000 to 13,500, give or take, at the close of the year. That's about doubling in size. And I know numbers aren't that important in the grand scheme of things, but it has been a really good year on that front. There's been some really good growth, and through things like the Legions miniseries and more recently Regiments of Renown, as well as all the other stuff we've been doing in 40k stories, I really think it's been a really positive year for the channel in that sense. I've got a lot better at writing my script, I can tell it, and my voice quality has got a lot better. I've got better at editing and getting the videos together, and doing something like Legions, which is an 18-part series, which are about half an hour each. I mean, the longest one was like 40 minutes. It's really got me good at discipline and getting my head in the game for long-running projects and doing week after week after week after week. And I shouldn't do that because my mic's picking that up. Doing weekly or bi-weekly in the case of Legions uploads where I've got to do big scripts, do a lot of research, and it's really put me in good stead for future projects. And I mean, the Grey Knights video that came out a couple of weeks ago was actually longer than I think 12 or 13 of the Legions videos. So it's been a pretty heavy year on the lore side, but I really enjoy doing my lore videos, and I'm sure you guys enjoy watching them too, because they are the most successful videos on the channel, which is perhaps no surprise. But it's been a really good year away from just lore, because, well, I've started a new army. Again, because of course I did. I've got my Stormcast Eternals in the town called Malice Hobby Project, which is still such a terrible pun. How does nobody shout at me for that pun? That pun is atrocious, but nobody shouted at me, so I'm going to keep using it. We've got the Stormcast Eternals Hobby Project, and that is ongoing. If you saw recently, I've purchased the Vanguard Brotherhood Battle Force box set. And I'm hoping to get my hands on Blightwar. Watch this space for an unboxing if I can get my hands on it soon enough. Because our local store has had some issues with Blightwar in the fact that it's completely sold out all the damn time. So we're going to try and sort something and get a Blightwar unboxing to you before I go back to England. Oh, back to France from England. Sorry, I should get that right. So he's saying I'm in France going back to England. I'm back in England going back to France. It's a little bit weird. Anyway. So that's been a really positive series because it's allowed me to not only have an army in Age of Sigmar that I feel is competitive, or at the very least viable whilst thematic, it's also allowed me to work on my language skills, which has been really helpful for me going from when I arrived in September. You could probably slightly tell from the first episode all the way back in like September, October time to the most recent episode, which was the episode before the Vanguard Brotherhood unboxing. which was the last bilingual episode, you can sort of tell the difference in my French. It's really come on in the terms of speaking with a bit of fluency. Like, my grammar and my vocab are still here nor there, but my vocab range has improved. My speaking quality has definitely improved, at least I feel it has. And I actually did a French class last semester at university, and the grades for my speaking reflected how well I think my speaking has come on. So I'm really hoping to keep that series going forward. It's going to be a little bit hectic in the next couple of weeks when I get back to France. So at the time you're watching this video, it is the day before New Year's Eve. I'm going to be going back in a week's time on the 6th of January. And then I'm going to be straight back into semester on the 8th of January. I'm going to get the unit that I've been working on for a while finished in that week, and then you can have a episode of A Town Called Malice, hopefully on the 15th of January, and then we'll go back to bi-weekly as I work on the Vanguard Brotherhood and or Light War. And that's sort of the plan going forward, and then we'll get battle reports and all of that good stuff as well. One thing we did actually leave behind this year, and I think there's a good reason for it, which I'll get onto in a moment, was Codex Analysis. I was talking about the future of Codex Analysis in the last year in review, which I will leave in the description if you didn't see it, because as half of you haven't been here since that. Like, the channel's more than doubled in that time, so most of you won't have seen it. I was thinking about the future of Codex Analysis and whether I wanted to keep doing reviews and all those sorts of things, and I'm kind of glad I did decide to let it go. And the main reason that we've let it go is, one, we can talk about every new codex release on the podcast, particularly with the way that GW operates these days with Warhammer Community, which is absolutely fantastic. I've got to say, for all the people who give the hate to the new GW, honestly, the information we get out of the new GW is fantastic. Keep it up. But of course, we also got Warhammer 40,000 8th edition. Oh, 8th edition. 8th edition has been a bit of a whirlwind, has it not? Keeping up with all the 10 codex releases. God damn it, Age of Sigmar, why couldn't you have done this? Well, see my video on Christmas Day as for why. But keeping up with the codex releases would have been really difficult for me to do, and keeping up with the reviews as well would have been absolutely impossible with my situation in France, that I probably got rules wrong from translation and this, that, the other. So I'm glad I let Codex Analysis go in and going into 8th edition. Don't mind the background noise, I'll try and edit it out in post. So it's been productive on that front, but I had to let that go. But 8th edition has been really fantastic. We got a bunch of battle reports out in the very early days of the edition, where we got to try out the orcs and the town. We got to see other armies go at it in battle reports. Kieran even gave us a battle report at one point, and I'm hoping that that's going to continue going forward. That will more be AOS than 40k. I'm also hoping to get some battle reports recorded with my friendship group, because I'm recording this on the 27th of December, so it's not quite at time of release. Being the chance if I can get to catch up with my friends, I only landed on the 23rd, so I've not really been around very much. And it was Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day. You can't really do anything in those 3 days, most people. So hopefully we'll get some games in the next couple of weeks before I go back to France, and you will see them as and when in battle reports. And hopefully we'll get some battle reports in from other sources as well. This is something that I've been really hoping to work on over the past 12 months, is to start to get a bit of a network of people that I can trust and rely on. And as much as I've got the podcast, and the podcast is fantastic, and rely on Remlers and Alexis to turn up every 2 weeks and get it done, and we've got the guests, and I can work with those people who had Snipe and Wib. Wib came in and voice acted as Gilliman for me at one point in a lore video. I want to have some people that I can trust to make videos for me as well, because France this semester has been heavy going. Really heavy going. I got it all done, but I had December exams for the first time ever. December exams are not fun, for the record. And I've still got deadlines I have to meet before I go back, so I'm going to be working on that over the holidays. But I'm hoping to get some content from other sources if they have time. So Ben, our Chaos Salamanders, pretty much everything player, who's got the Brass Scorpion and the Decimator engine. You saw him in our last Orc v Chaos battle report. He is hoping to get some battle reports. He's got Rowan with him, so we've got 2 of our friendship group together at their university, and hopefully they'll be able to provide some battle reports for us if all goes well. Same applies with Kieran in Age of Sigmar. He might be able to get some content out for us, whether that's hobby updates or battle reports. We shall have to see, and I'm not going to hold either of them to anything. I can meet the content uploads of this channel pretty much constantly. I mean, it's going to be a bit of a scramble to get the next couple of lore videos out and get back up to speed on lore, because I had to leave things by the wayside in order to do 15 hours of exams in 2.5 days, but that's beside the point, and that's something I'm going to be working on. I've nearly got the video for the 6th ready, and the 13th is another Entrance of Renown, so I know what I'm doing with that, and I can just push through. I think that's the main part of this year. So If we look back on 2017 as a whole, both for the channel and for the hobby, as well as for the podcast, it's been a really, really successful year. We've seen the General's Handbook, both one and then the second version of the General's Handbook, really help Age of Sigmar, which has also been reinforced by armies like the Caradron Overlords, and has also been gaining things like Shadespire, which is something that I don't really look at. Shadespire, Necromunda, those sorts of things don't really bother me, but it's something that's good to have nonetheless. And for 40k, obviously we had 8th edition, we had the return of Guilliman, we had the return of Mortarion. I think Magnus came out just before the new year, but we've had some really big releases through the Gathering Storm and then into 8th edition, and long may that continue. I mean, we've just seen the next set of Nurgle releases, and oh my giddy aunt, the Great Unclean one looks amazing, and those Bloat Drone Cavalry, Mortal Bloat Drone Cavalry, look really good. I'm undecided on the Beast of Nurgle though, not sure about those. Don't know, I'm told they're based on classic designs, but I don't particularly like them, but hey, that's just me. But other than that, it's been a really good year for 40k, with Chapter Approved as well, expanding the game, and I really need to pick up Chapter Approved at some point, just so I can be up to date. And I might do a quick little review of the armies that I own in Chapter Approved, just so you can see where they're at. I mean, I'll be a bit late to the party at this point, but it's something I can do. If people want me to do that, then by all means. This is also your friendly reminder about the content suggestion box. Just while it's in my head, I know this is a very rambly, all over the place sort of video, but it's kind of the way I operate sometimes. My head's a bit scrambled. So the content suggestion box is something that's been on our Facebook page. I put it up on New Year's Day last year. So that's been up for a year now. That's been some really useful suggestions come through there. I've used some of them, I haven't, or some of them I was doing anyway, things like Legion suggestions. And it also gave me the push to do Regiments of Renown. But I've also decided that if people want to use it, the community tab, I've decided to open the community tab and put a content suggestion box there for those of you who don't want to use a Facebook account, because I know some people don't have a Facebook account, so I didn't want to just use a video as the comment, so I've got this community post. So if you go over to the community tab, you can go in there and there is a content suggestion box post. You can comment on that and I check it as and when, and try and leave comments on things if there's something I can or can't or have already done, and all that sort of thing. But yeah, I think that's 2017 in a nutshell. A really good year for the hobby as a whole. Both AOS and 40k have benefited this year greatly, and for all the flaws that 8th edition has, because it has got flaws and people have been rushing to point them out to me, I think 8th is better than 7th, and it has done a lot of good on the most part for the hobby. 30k has also benefited too. It's gained at least one Primarch in Magnus the Red, I think again another one in Lehman Russ. And with the Age of Darkness rulebook, the updated version, which is 7.5 if you like, that's now coming very, very soon. It might already be up on pre-order by the time you're watching this video. And you can go and get that, and that will give 30k another boost, which I hope will be boosted again by the upcoming Primarchs, and the fact that the Horus Heresy novel series is starting to push toward the end. So hopefully there's a lot to come for that. And of course, when we run out of Primarchs, we'll get our model for the Emperor more than likely. And that will be fun times abound. So the hobby's done well. The podcast has done really well. We've gone from strength to strength. We've got more guests. We've got more fun. We've got longer episodes. We've even gone live on one occasion for our 1-year anniversary special. And I'm sure we'll do another live thing again. And on a personal note, the channel has done really well. And my education has gone fine. This semester's been a bit rough. But last... second semester at Manchester in second year was pretty strong, and all of the good stuff happened with the growth and the new content we've added and the streamlining of the content that we left behind. We've been able to gain a hobby project, although we had to leave behind Codex Analysis, and we've had my thoughts on, I finally sort of categorized that into a series, so my thoughts on, where I can just talk about whatever I want, which is really, really useful for me, just to get my opinion out there, long-winded style, because I can't do that on the podcast. So I've enjoyed having my thoughts on as something I can do and just talk about a topic at length, which usually incites an argument in the comments because that's just what I'm like. Anyway, I think I've covered the majority of things. One other thing I want to address before I go is live streaming. Well, we have a new microphone, and assuming I can fit it in my case, it's going to be going back to France with me. So hopefully we can up the quality of any live streams we do. I know we had technical difficulties quite a lot when I stopped streaming. But I'm going to try and stream when I get back to France, because I enjoy streaming, and it does fill time allowing me to talk to you guys at a bit longer length, because I'm notoriously bad at going into people's Discords. and talking on Discord, because then I just get overwhelmed with Discord notifications, so I'm really bad at talking on Discord. But anyway, that's for me to worry about and you not to worry about. So, that is all for the 2017 year in review. Going into 2018, you can expect more lore, more podcasts, and more rambles from my thoughts on, as well as more Age of Sigmar content, whether that's from me through a town called Malice, or from Kieran, and you can hopefully expect some battle reports as well, at least in the short term, and maybe even throughout the year. But we shall have to see. There's a lot going on, and yeah, there's just a lot going on. So we'll see how we go, and if we can get to, I don't know, a similar sort of growth level again, so we get to 20,000, that would be kind of mind-blowing, and I'd have to come up with something good to do, because I've got to start thinking about 15,000 at this point. What am I going to do for 15,000? Oh, God, what am I going to do for 15,000? I haven't got a clue. So, that's something for me to think about. If you want to leave me suggestions, of course, the content suggestion box is wide open, or you can leave specific ideas if you want to on the comments of this video as well, and let me know what you've thought about 2017 here on Tactica Imperialis and in the hobby. What's been good, what's been not so good, what you want to see added, what you want to see removed, and it's not going to be the Primera Space Marines. We've had that rant 600 times, so please stop. I'm joking, of course. But for now, thank you all for watching, and a very happy new year going into 2018. I know this video is just before 2018, but you get my point. I hope you have a very good year, and I hope you've had a very good one this year. For now, though, thank you all for watching. This has been Tactica Imperialis, and I will see you all next time. Thank you very much, and goodbye.